Hey Josie, it's Nick. I'm going to show you how to dock to anything while adding another fuel tank to my space station. This is probably going to take a little while, so this may be more than one video. I only have the ability of doing 15-minute videos, so it may take two. But this is this craft here in the middle, which is this large tank, a mainsail at the bottom, and a bunch of jets around the side, or actually rockets. They were jets at one point. Is the main lifting craft I've been using to pick up everything up to the space station, which I can actually show you now. It's done in separate launches, and it's you've got to be pretty precise with it. Well, what I've done is kind of copied some models that I've seen online and kind of made my own little additions to it, just to learn what I need and how to use it all up there. Um, let's take a look real quick at the actual station. So usually when you're doing this, what you end up with is um, a lot of different particular items that you need to be able to run it. You obviously need electricity, you need fuel, you're going to use it as a refueling station, you need space for little guys to run around in, as well as a few other things. So you kind of start with some basic control aspects, and then you start to just kind of add everything on piece by piece. It's taken a while. I've been doing it probably one thing a day, so it's taken me probably all week, probably about 6 total hours, something like that, to get it through. But this is the actual space station. It's got this compartment. It actually has a couple of the Kerbal guys in it, just some crew hatches. This little thing here that you'll see, it's the Clampetron docking port. You'll find it in the build section. That's what you're going to use for everything. It's all over the place here. So what I did was I built this as one unit. Okay, put RCS systems on it, put an tank on it, a battery pack, and then a docking port at the top and a docking port on the bottom. Some solar panels on it as well, because this originally was the only thing that was up here. I got up here and I put it in orbit. And then I came up and put the solar array on it, which is just the same thing, docking ports on either end, a structure, some battery packs, and then solar arrays. These are RCS tanks for monopropellant, so you can fuel things, and again, with a docking port on the top, docking port on the bottom. These two little arrays I found online that I was able to kind of copy more or less. It's basically just fuselage with a docking port on the top and bottom. This is where all the ships are going to be docked once I get them up here, and this is the same exact thing but smaller, and it's a little uh, uh, it's shorter, but it's got more ports on it, and this is where all the tanks are going to be. So what we're going to do, as you can see, there's already two up here. We're going to launch and add a third tank at least. And I've also got these two little things. Actually, I'll show you how to dock and undock. These little space buggy things, which is another thing I copied from somebody online just to learn what they are. They're basically just RCS systems, an SAS, a control module in the middle so you can control it, a battery pack, and again, docking ports on either end. So I can see how much monopropellant we have, and actually we're kind of low, so I'm going to fill it. You press Alt, click on the other tank. You want fuel to go in here, and this is how you refuel any type of ship that's docked to it. Okay, I won't show you that whole thing, but that's basically how you do it. So from here, we're going to launch a rocket, rendezvous with it, and then try to dock another large tank to it. Now the tanks tend to be empty when you get up there. I haven't learned how to refill them. I know the process is to get them up empty, and then you fly up and refill them and land your kind of ship back down. So let's go back in to our hangar. Select our loading craft with the big giant fuel tank on it, which is this one that I made, the one I just showed you that was on the launch pad. Move it out to launch pad. Oh, there was already one out there. Could have just skipped all that and gone right to the launch pad, but Alright, so here we are again. I'm going to take off. Actually, before I do that, turn on my RCS and my SAS. What you want to do is obviously you're going to take off in the same direction, okay? And I did it really easily on the same plane that I showed you before, which is that 90-degree angle, which is right along kind of what would be the equator, I guess, technically, because of the way it spins. So this is me on the ground. It reads me as a satellite. I don't know why, probably because of the docking port. This ship is actually the station. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this as a target, just like I would if I was looking for the moon or anything else. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp so it's almost right over me in the sky. So we're on the dark side of the planet. It's nighttime. Here comes the space station. I'm going to put it so it's somewhere near me, roughly. That's close enough. Doesn't have to be directly over you. And from here, I am going to launch. The ship is pretty hefty. I've got solid state rockets because this one's, again, got a lot of weight. If you look, we got all our solid state. These are all smaller engines, which are not running right now. Our mainsail and the fuel from these smaller engines are actually feeding into the mainsail right now. Okay. Keep an eye on our resources because we want to keep an eye on that. We want to keep an eye on the solid fuel because we want to get rid of those when we can. The solid fuel boosters actually puts a lot of stress on the frame of this, so you don't want to jerk it around very much when you're controlling it because it can break up. And this one's actually really sensitive. If you throttle this thing up, it'll just crash everything. I've done it quite a few times trying to pick stuff up. This is the heaviest thing I've picked up there. Right now it's still got fuel in it. Eventually it will deplete fuel because I think I'm taking it out of here right now. Yeah, which I am. So this is going to feed down once these empty out. So as soon as these go, I'm going to cut them. The smaller one's light. We're actually slowing down a little bit, so I throttle up. And we still have quite a bit of fuel. So again, we're shooting for about 10,000 meters, and then we're going to turn to 90 degree, which actually, we may be able to see the space station somewhere above us. Maybe I'm blind, but I don't see it yet. Usually you get a little icon where it is, but regardless, so now we're at 10,000 meters. Those smaller engines are now cut. I will cut those away. I'm going to turn towards 90. As you can see, there's a lot of RCS on this just because of how big it is. But again, I mean, you don't have to use this exact design. I can show it to you if you want, but really anything that's going to get at something in orbit, you can mess around with that type of thing, with those types of designs. So we've got our ship angled on the 90-degree plane right along this line here. I just moved it to the right. Keep an eye on our fuel. We're going to switch over to the map so we can keep an eye on where we're going to be and where we're headed. Okay, so now I'm on my map. Whoops, how'd that happen? On my map. And I want to be able to pull up my little globe here, but it's not letting me. Okay, so just like before, we're getting into orbit. Here's our space station. It's now way ahead of us because it moves pretty quickly. You can see its velocity is about 2,200 meters per second, and I'm moving much slower. I'm going to throttle up just a little bit. But what you want to look here is it says altitude. The altitude here is 125.6 thousand meters. You're going to shoot for underneath that. You don't want to go over the orbit. The idea here is we're going to be orbiting just inside this orbit, because the closer you orbit to the planet and the lower you are, the faster you'll go, just based on gravity, based on centrifugal force. So this is 125. Let's shoot for, let's say, 115, or maybe even a little less than that. So there's 113. Now it said we actually have an intersect possibility. It's going to be close, but really not close enough for me. And obviously, as you can tell, I'm not perfectly aligned here. I am actually a little bit north of it, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is put myself in orbit, just like we did before. But again, I'm going to keep myself slightly below the orbit of the station. So as this comes around, we're going to stop right there, just about. 120 and 99. I know that the station goes from about 125 down to about 100, 105, somewhere in there. So we're underneath it. We can make adjustments once we get in there, once we get into safe orbit. So just like everything else that we do, we go right towards that blue vector and get our delta V up, which is just your speed. Boop, right on it. Very good. Warp up. So we get a little burn. 10 seconds to burn. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep an eye on your fuel because you can always burn out here. Now what you're doing is, again, getting underneath the orbit, and you're going to actually catch up to the space station. But you want to do it really gradually. That way you don't zip by the thing and have to use a lot of fuel slowing yourself down. And there we go, and right there. So we get to 92 and 118. That's pretty close. So now we're in orbit. That's really close to the space station, but if you look, I'm just inside it. You know, and there may be times where I get close to it, there may be times where I get further away, but I'm close enough to it. As you can see, these actually show up, and this is jumping around. But it shows that I am going to come into contact with it by about 300 meters. So what I will do is I'm going to make a maneuver here. I'm going to slow down just a little bit, and you can see these start to move. And the same idea, it's going to be within 300 meters. And you can make small adjustments to this as you see fit. I'm going to warp up real quick. It's just a short little quick burst of a burn. Because what it's actually happening, again, is I'm catching up to the actual space station. So again, put myself right on that little vector. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quick little burn. There we go. Get rid of that motion. And now we're on path to be to rendezvous with it. Okay, so I'm going to speed up a little bit here, and we're just going to warp around. And as you can see, it says intersect 1 is going to be 375, intersect 2, which means the second time we're going to get real close, is going to be 314. That means we're getting closer to this thing gradually. As we cross it, now it says 314 and 241. You're going to keep going around the planet until you get real close as you can. This is about the end of this video, so I'm going to have to do this in 2 parts. Most of the hard, heavy lifting fuel part is done. Once we get real close, then it becomes kind of a finesse game that takes a ton of patience and makes you want to smash your computer up against the wall unless you've kind of perfected a design that will allow you to do it. And there we go, our intersect 2 is now already at 179. So we're getting closer and closer. So I'm going to cut this video out and go to part 2. And by then we will have caught up, because then it says our third one is now, or intersect 2 now, is at 105. So it's getting closer and closer. So I will catch you on part 2 of this and show you the rest of it actually matching speed with what it is you're catching up to, and then actually physically docking with it.